Now, I just dabble in programming. Right now, I'm trying to teach myself Python because I'm going to trying to write a program for work for tracking inventory.
Okay.
So it's going to have to be on things being checked out, checked back in. I've got to be able to do it because you can check out both from 3 places: from the truck, either one of the trucks, or from the shop.
Right.
Then I wanted to track how many days it's been out, the customer, their address.
That's good.
It's going to be pretty in depth, but I've never used Python before, so I'm trying to teach myself that at the same time as doing the program.
And this is me now. I'm not the expert.
I am lining the script for shooting in July, so I'm trying to set it up so that I know exactly what I look like when I show up.
Get a young kid. You lay out
Part of the work
just
is
like
keep it
you
on.
just write it like a process filter, let them create it for you. That'll get it active.
See, I was using ChatGPT.
Oh, that's even better.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay.
See, because I'd already created it once, but I did it, unfortunately, I did it all under Google's platforms.
Right.
And in order to roll it out, everybody's got to be, because it was under the Google workspace, has to belong to the workspace.
Yeah.
So they want to sell you all the seats.
Yeah.
And we don't want to put on any more seats right
I
now.
hope so, yes.
So I wrote it one way under the corporate, then I took and wrote it again under my private email, thinking I'd be able to roll it out that way.
Right.
Well, no, again, they want you to buy all the seats.
Yeah.
So now I'm thinking of just doing it in like Python. And that way I would own the whole thing.
Yeah.
At least that's my thinking. I don't know if I'm wrong or not. I tend not to find out until it's too late. All the work's done.
Yeah, I think Python is most platforms you can use.
It's pretty open.
Environment is pretty open, and they have a lot of third party.
Check it out after graduation.
Since you've already done it.
Where's our
It's not
Well,
good.
I'm telling AI I'm doing it from scratch because it does assume you know certain things, especially when you're going into a new program. Like
31C.
I had to learn app sheet.
Yep, this is.
See, to me, I'm old school.
It's only 95. Everybody's just
So
I'm learning to machine language.
Yeah,
We learned that back in high school.
okay, that's what.
Get old Apple II
All
computers,
stuff, man. Yeah.
all the O's and ones, and
You
then
get them all.
learn everything in DOS.
I love it. I was so amazed.
These kids don't know what DOS is.
I know.
But they're still there. It's under everything.
Well, that's what got was telling me about COBOL. Because I can do it me now. I got it on my resume. It's a lot.
No, and then one man should
All the
make
things.
movement,
Yeah,
so
you
we're.
think, no, nothing got you to macro.
Well, you just put GUI on top of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So with that.
yeah, it is,
Everything
it's a
else is
slow
easy.
call right now.
We just dressed it up, made it look different. The architecture's still underneath there.
But nobody knows how to
Stay
speak.
the computer.
Yeah.
If
They
don't-
can't use the command
They
prompts.
can't get under, yeah, that's true.
They don't know the command
Bro,
prompts.
you go way back with me then. We almost do.
If you don't mind, how old are you?
62.
We're the same age. I'm 60. I just turned 60.
But I love it, man.
Yeah, I remember the old computer labs in school. We had just gotten all the Apple IIs.
I remember I got, we were helping the coach in high school. We had to run a dunk room, really. I'm so tired of seeing this like this. Y'all cleaned it up and boom, 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 but we just put them on the barrel. And with the old floppy.
Mm-hmm.
And there was some apples.
Yes,
Put them
nice.
together and I got 2 of them to work. I said, I like this. Boom, boom, boom. And they said, what's it we just bought them and people couldn't use them. They put them here. So I was like, hey, everywhere I go, then I built my first classroom in one of my work. We cleared out the basement, then set up 15 seats like this, and I had corporate cables around the computers. That was Microsoft.
Those going to ask, are you a Microsoft guy or are you an Apple guy?
I do.
Do you?
Yeah.
hidden by us on that is there's a Wi-Fi
At the
at
time,
town hall, but it's hidden.
because I was
Only
on
I'm allowed to have
Microsoft's
it. If I don't know
development
password is,
team,
send the right thing
behind the
out
scene
now.
guy, that we got software a year, 2 years before. we
What are you
were
trying to
ready.
do?
We would test it.
Live stream from Lexington Town
They
Hall.
gave me a license
And
for everything.
the public Wi-Fi
I said I can use it, so I used it.
So they have like a
Right.
secret that doesn't even show up.
Whatever
on
people
Wi-Fi
needed,
does.
that's what we created, man. Same thing you're doing.
I asked.
Now, are you familiar with Tech Data?
How can I get Wi-Fi?
You know who that is?
Yeah.
That's who I always take my classes through down in St. Pete.
Oh, yeah,
This is
yeah,
a building or something.
yeah.
So anyway.
Old school,
Send
man.
an IT guy down.
It's,
Password here, he didn't let me see it.
I remember years ago, it's this company called Nextbro.
No one else can use it.
NEX,
And it's very strong.
but it was the
So if I can get this
first
working here.
AI
I have
tool
the
I
right
used
password.
and I was building into.
So what
all
about, you saying you want the screen recorded as well?
We had
On-
paradigm mode.
Well, it's gonna be on,
Well,
projector,
Mhm.
mine, those Nevos,
They had
both
10 variations.
Sarah and Diann,
Everything all based on lights.
just gonna
Go
record
in.
that.
All of that.
And my
And
sister
Desmond
said,
or whoever.
what light you want?
This would be clear.
Oh, okay.
We I programmed.
Okay.
I remember.
Troubleshooting programs?
Trying to see.
Troubleshooting
I got
programs,
you.
and I laughed at the old school guys.
Would you be pissed?
That's
When I'm done reading
big
your
office
dissertation.
and five, three, and
You
five
answer
servers.
my questions.
And 3 of my programs on, the others I played on.
I really see
That's,
potential.
That's part of just being an academic.
Start laughing at it.
In general, so no.
I see a lot of potential opportunity
Mhm.
there.
Yeah, email away, man. I'm happy to answer any questions.
Now when they talk about
Like
AI.
I said, we can always chop it up.
Not the young whippersnappers.
Yep.
That is like,
But.
with the bus tours, it's been about last
now.
week. You're gonna be on each roll or out there?
We were talking about AI the other day,
I have no idea.
and,
Right
talking
now,
about the future of AI. And
Still in
the guy
progress.
we're talking to said that he sees AI as moving
Well,
more
no, they
towards
said
a
they're gonna be
help
doing
desk
this
kind of
at
thing.
one particular point.
And less as much as we see it right today. It would be more of a helping
I
tool.
think it's gonna be, you remember.
I mean, I'm happy to do the work.
You know, that's probably what it's gonna be, just serious.
Some more,
Serious.
like Alexa or Siri,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's.
Yeah, it's
so
all
it is
like-
like, you know, you got an idea
That's
what you're
okay.
expecting.
I didn't do that.
No, that's,
Mhm.
it's in
It's
the
like I
set.
got some
You
cool
can check,
programs.
you can take it.
It's automatic.
Yeah, but you can turn it off.
Oh, no, I don't give a shit. I'm just saying, I didn't expect
You
it.
know, something.
I see Tara Morosky's
I
one.
hadn't touched
I
it
am, I was.
in 10 years. Some of this drop it in.
I was telling them I was gonna move the
Use
camera.
one of
Probably the rest of
now.
I used to do that when I was
They'll know it's you.
Or Apple as an app. Convert it to that.
Right.
Yes,
Do the same thing.
and decent
I don't have to
exposure.
rewrite it. I have to tell the program.
They'll hunt you down.
So-
This what's missing.
So is Apple still as proprietary as it used to be? Or is it kind of opened up its architecture to?
It's still proprietary, but what it is, they've opened up some of their functionality to third party.
I was gonna say, cause everything had to be approved by Apple
Yeah.
back in the day.
It's
Still that way?
Because when I used to program, I used to hate it. It's every weekend, they upgrade it. So I always have to change program.
Oh.
This doesn't work. So you work on something Monday through Friday. You came back in on Monday.
And they made a tweak somewhere, and now you,
And they didn't advise you, like Linda just always said, here's the update.
What do we do for the Apple, Waffle House?
You'll go in.
but you can always download the beta to find out what's going
So
on.
that's why I always
They
kept
copy right away, but now it's
my
like, they get
connection
about
to
15 after
it
8.
working.
Otherwise, you have to agree with this, so.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit
So when I was testing it,
One of the guys actually, what
this
this
works.
explained to
Mm-hmm.
me.
And I would do my upgrades on the.
So do you use a virtual machine now to do that, or do you still? Yeah.
But I always I like to separate them. Cause I like to have what I know
I
works.
know, they used
See,
to.
that's, what you do is what I always wanted to get into. Like,
Ron, what's going on?
initially when I was going to college, I wanted to come out as being a computer engineer. That's what I really wanted to do, is design computer chips.
Those guys,
I didn't wanna get into that much math, always 0 to 1.
That's all it is.
Learn it, and then once I really mastered it.
But anyway, I was thinking about that, I mean, so that, because
And
He didn't really understand why, where the cost was going. So like maybe
Is that the manager or just the?
that's one of the,
coworker?
person on the floor.
So the way we got connected with them is the one gentleman who was
Yeah.
working, he
He's
used
not
to
there
manage
anymore.
theirs, no,
Okay.
he
He did that
started his
before.
own company.
Here's what it is, so you got
So
off
he
on
kinda
my
got
mind.
us
Mhm.
in,
It's in
but
Saturday, I
I
had
think he
nothing
might
to do, and I
explain to
started,
like the manager.
adding these
But
steps.
I know the staff has no idea what's,
So
other
that
than they
kind
just
of
happen to
Google got it, I
stand there and look
did.
at it.
But we should also.
Oh, that sounds
think about
That really does.
for when
And you didn't
retire,
think
say,
about, you know,
Yeah.
this thing and.
No.
Yeah, I think about that too.
You're operating in a total different
Yeah.
Going in that direction right now, so.
area. What you're doing is more of a collaboration.
That's all it is, this is what we're doing,
And-
and maybe involve a little bit more, I'm not sure that.
I think the better way we've always done it is find, new coffee sponsor every year or 2 years. But we don't, what we should be doing is having some type of career. But because it's a donation, there's nothing that we really got holding them to, they decide tomorrow, but
Cisco.
then like us, right? So, selling the benefits of it to them as, we're talking about Waffle House, where stuff, where.
So you Intel or AMD?
Well, I mean.
Which one do you like?
They aren't the same.
They're all, this is what they are. They used to be different.
They did.
That's why we kind of
Only
use
because
mom and pops,
they go,
entrepreneurial coffee shops.
Mm-hmm.
And so that might be
and all that.
the next step.
And then once I started learning, I said, well,
Maybe
we
people,
prior to
yeah, and maybe Al would be the one to designate this next year, but I would reach out to like Curiosity or Knowledge Work or any of the other local coffee shops and see if they would want to become a sponsor for the year. Maybe just go yearly. At Waffle House, or Inda last year, we did Inda for a couple years, we did Fat Pack Biscuits.
Manipulate.
That's gonna be,
Oh, we did pay for
on you.
points.
Wait, I got you.
Yeah, you and I paid for it.
Y'all paid for it.
Yeah. Unless, or the other thing we could do, if we can't get somebody beforehand to sponsor, like when I was
Okay.
paying for Inda and Bob was paying for Inda, it was kind of our job.
Gotcha.
And that's where.
As a member of
Yeah,
core,
it was before I was the leader, I approached Andrew and said, how can I be involved? And he said, well, you could buy a coffee, because Fat Cat Biscuit was on their way out.
Yeah.
So I paid for the coffee.
You became-
So I finally went to a dual
Yeah,
core,
so
didn't
we
they?
could also.
They did. Okay, I thought they did. They thought
It really
about
makes
10 years they've been doing
Somebody
that.
else, if they wanted
Oh,
to
yeah,
be a
yeah,
coffee
for that.
sponsor,
Back then.
and then it's on
those
them
were-
every week to.
And this is
To figure out
Jason,
what
you
you
got
Still have no coffee.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're supposed to, but before you Bob, I think already a pack deal with all the equipment, you can't see hauling in a coffee every week.
Mm-hmm.
Cheap Walmart coffee.
Well, they took half the work out of it trying to find what it was.
That's a
Yeah,
franchise.
yeah.
Thank
You
you.
know,
Look at
the
all my
other
business
thing
cards.
is, the curious,
I just mean,
Kidding.
somebody just wanted to.
No, I'm enjoying talking with you, man.
I saw the need
You
to
know,
maybe
and then people who just make their own.
We have, like I say, that's the way I wanted to go, and never made it there.
And then we just had a
And
coffee
it was
sponsor,
a
maybe
look at
once
a
a
draw,
month, and then
and
we
for
keep
me, in
some
a
pods.
sense, because initially, when I was
Those
in
are
high
our
school,
three
I went
options.
to social work. And then one of my teachers explained,
Well, I guess
everything's
it's
not
just
going
gonna
right.
be intimate crowd today. Yeah, okay, it's 9:16, so let's.
You wanna get people.
At least I'll
People
get
are
the.
gonna come in late, they're straggling.
Did you give it 5 more?
I mean, I would say get started and let them straggle in, they always, if
Okay.
they go through, that way we can.
So
Mhm.
get on.
stand right in that area? Yep, but let's see, Bob,
She's
where's
gonna
Bob?
call
Where
you.
does Diann should stand for her?
Anywhere she wants.
Anywhere, is that all the angles on her? Yeah, just got
Preferably up front.
Young
I think that'd be nice.
Okay.
So you know you're gonna go for another.
Alright, well, it's a quiet morning. Good morning, everybody. We're gonna get started. We've got a little intimate group today, so we'll just get going. If you could, take a second and scan the QR code, everyone. For our regulars, you know this is how we take our attendance, and for our first timers, please scan the QR code as well and register so you can stay a friend of ours. This is how the corporation just kind of keeps track of how much attendance and how well we're doing here. We want to know that we're doing well. So thank you everybody for taking a second and signing in. And I'm going to go through a little bit of housekeeping, and then we'll get right to the main event. Let everybody do their scans. Here we go. All right, so welcome. This is 1 Million Cups, and the mission of 1 Million Cups is to lower the barrier of access to education, resources, and connection for all types of new, seasoned, and aspiring entrepreneurs throughout the United States. We give presentations, not pitches. We make authentic connections. We're not just here to network, and we're radically and intentionally inclusive, and we are run for the community, by the community. What I mean by that are these are the local businesses and business owners that bring this to you weekly. So we are grateful to the Mix for housing us every Wednesday. We appreciate the Waffle House for donating the coffee. And below are all of our business owners who are our organizers of this, and they bring you the presenters, they coach the presenters, they handle the marketing, the outreach, picking up our coffee, and all of the things that help keep this ship afloat. We've had this local program for over 10 years. We are held weekly on Wednesday mornings, and we have had over 500 entrepreneurial presentations. We also offer educational topics like finance, future frame, networking, and provide local resources. We have one presenter a week with a 5 to 6 minute presentation, and then we follow that with Q&A from the community. We have some Made It sessions with entrepreneurs who have made a significant amount of money, and they come back and they tell us about their stories. We are always free. Sorry, my finger got fancy. There we go. Always free, open to the public, and we do give you free coffee. We're asking for presenters, so we are filling the June and July pipeline right now. We would love to hear your story. If you would like, you can reach out on this link here, or come and talk to any of us in the back of the room. Remember, it is not a sales pitch. It is not an investor pitch. The goal is to have people understand what you do and some of the challenges you've had in building your business. We love newer companies that are open to community engagement, and all industries are welcome. We have a couple Facebook group pages. This is our local one, so if you're not a part of this, please become a part of this. You can scan that QR code. This is how we stay connected. If you're looking for a resource, you want to share a resource, you have a question, this is how we can have the engagement there for our community. Upcoming presenters next week, Monica, is that still, we're good to go with Monica? Did you guys meet afterwards at one day?
We were supposed to meet, and we have not met.
All right, well, we are hoping to have Monica next week. We will follow up on that. And then as you see, we are open for the summer. So come and tell your journey with us, share your journey with us. And we've got several open dates that we are anxious to fill.
I'm wrong, we didn't meet.
You did meet.
Yeah, I remember now, we did meet, yeah, so she should be there. Yeah, sorry.
No worries. Okay, take a second if you could, just silence your cell phone. We do this out of respect for our presenter as well as the group. And honestly, there was too much to say about I didn't have enough, so please, she has a very thorough bio. This woman is far better than anything here, but she's an author, a narrative journalist, and founder of Williams Professional Services Publishing, LLC. She earned a social work degree from Benedict College and later completed a project management certificate at Furman University. Diana served as correctional classification caseworker, licensed social worker, certified adoption specialist. She's a technical writer in the technology sector and project manager for major infrastructure initiatives. In 2005, she and her husband established Williams Professional Services Publishing, LLC, and secured a state contract producing advanced planning documents for construction firms, including one that won a $7 million federal award. She's developed strategic plans, she creates operational policies, and analyzing educational data and publishing books, and there's a lot more that this wonderful woman has done. So let's welcome Diann, and we're going to hear about her.
Good morning. Thank y'all so much for being here. One of the most important things I have had to learn in life is that failure equals success. Unless you fail in something, you can't become successful in anything. And that's how my life has been. I've gone through many, what some people would say failures, but they've been opportunities. And that's what brought me here to 1 Million Cup last year in October. I presented my business, talked about what I was doing, and then in the follow-up questions, there was a lot that came at me and talked about what was I really focusing on, because I was all over the place. And as you heard from my bio, that I've done a lot of things as well. So because I've done a lot of things, I tried to incorporate them into my business. One of the major questions that was asked of me was, what is the heart of your business? Something that I really couldn't answer. So I decided to go back and I looked at everything, sitting on my mama's front porch, because that's where I really get my best thoughts. Sitting on mama's front porch in the country, just sitting there, not doing anything. And a few years ago, I had done a trademark for Mama's Front Porch Therapy, because the information she provides to us is just so helpful for myself and all the children. And my business was really around that, Mama's Front Porch Therapy, and what Mama was doing. And the questions that I got when I did my presentation on Williams Professional Services Publishing LLC, I said, okay, well, I got to reclaim this porch. So my branding and building my structure for my business since October was to restructure that porch and claim it back, to do what I really enjoyed doing, and that's writing. I love writing. I could sit and write all day long. So that's who I am, and my publishing business is about writing. But I could not really explain that to the group, because I was doing flyers, I was doing presentations, somebody wanted a PowerPoint, I did those things. But October helped me to restructure my business. So I rebranded it after October. And then I tell you what, as life goes, you're gonna hit something that will change what you're doing. So in October, I moved on to restructuring my change, because I was a jack of all trades, I had no structure, and I was a sucker for it. If you said to me, "What, can you do this for me?" I said, okay, I'll do it. Because they also hyped me up with those texts like, you're so good at it. But the journey that I had to define the heart of my business. So I defined the heart of my business. I understood that telling stories, writing stories, sitting on somebody's porch or whatever you define as your porch, that's my heart. I refine my services around the heart. Writing and selling my books is a part of what I do. I've written over 25 books. And helping others to write their books are another thing that I do. So during that period of time, I've been doing that. And another part was sharing my skills on writing. So I aligned my business products to speak the same language. I had to redo my website, I had to redo business cards, social media status, brochures, and everything. And I said, you know what? A division needed to be created that really focused on what our company was doing. So that division, Front Porch Writings was it. So this is the change I went through since the October meeting with 1 Million Cup. My business cards had to change. It didn't need to be the focus on me. It needed to be the focus on the business. So my new business card talks about my Front Porch Writings. My brochures, every time somebody asked me to do something, I was creating a new brochure. However, I got one defined brochure now with my company, and fee structures were the same thing. I would do it, whatever somebody wanted me to do, I'd come up with a fee structure. But now I have one set fee structure. Social media was based on me as being an author, Diann Williams author. I changed that to Front Porch Writings to calculate everything. My website was called alifethatmattered.org. That was created because my first book was A Life That Mattered, based on my brother's writings. He was bipolar, and when he died, he had a lot of information on his laptop, and I took that information and wrote that first book. But I changed my domain, got all that switched over to frontporchwritings.com. I changed the logo as well for my company and made it very simple and sleek so you could see everything that was associated with the business. So those were the changes that I made. And in the middle of making all those changes in October, I had a fall. And that fall confided me to my home. And I thought I wasn't going to be able to do anything else because it affected my right side. But through physical therapy and all those other things, I had to change my makeup of how I always wore heels. So I wear flats now. But that's fine. And my business was able to go on through that struggle. And with the business, I was able to sit down and focus on the rebranding and get my focus back on my front porch, the Front Porch Writings. So that's me in a nutshell with my company, Williams Professional Services Publishing, LLC, and the Front Porch Writings. That's a division of my company. So I appreciate y'all listening to me, and now I'm open to whatever it is you have to say.
Thank you, so for those of you that don't know, Diann she presented last year, and she was hit with a fire hose of questions and information and ideas, and she did exactly what any smart entrepreneur should do, is she took everything as constructive, information, and she channeled that into obviously this wonderful rebranding. So thank you, Diann, for sharing how you've done that. All right, I'm going to open it up so hands can start going. There we go, right up in the front. Yes,
Right.
sir.
Based on what I'm hearing, great pivot. It worked pretty well.
Thank you.
Just say hypothetically, if I had 45 ebooks prepared, what's the best way to make the most revenue and get the most feedback from it? Hard copy, soft copy, or ebook? How would you approach it?
For me as a writer, and also having worked in the technology area, I have no issue with electronic information. But I tell you what, I encounter so many people that love to have a hard book in their hands. So having the two options, the ebooks as well as a written book, is good. And there are a lot of resources out there where you can have your books printed at a very reasonable price. One that I use a lot is Mixam. It's an online printing company. So you can do that. And if you need help in organizing it, that's what my company is about. That's something I would be happy to help you with for a fee.
For
Yeah.
a fee.
Yeah, for a fee.
Don't whisper the fee now. Don't fee out there loud.
That's true. You're right.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, who's next?
As an author and writer, how do you assist people with self-publishing? A lot of people are really not really enthusiastic about growing these writers because they take so much of their revenue, and actually take Amazon has a unique type of opportunity that they do, but for someone individual that's wants to self-publish it, but they don't know exactly how do you help that individual?
Well, what I do as a consultant for a fee as well, I help people. Sometimes people think they have it all written and they want to self-publish. I do writing workshops as a part of my business to help people understand the processes that you go through. And I agree with you because I'm one of those persons. I self-publish. I don't sell my products on Amazon or any of the online resources. I only sell through my personal website. So I would help them through my consulting part, the writing porch.
Do you want to pass out the flyer?
Yes, I do. Yes, I see Bob in the back.
I actually have a two for a photo, if you will, if you don't mind.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, the first question is, okay, back in the day, I'm talking like, when the only really big choices for publishing were like, McGraw-Hill, Macmillan, the typical, at least for textbooks, like, at least for engineering textbooks, I'm gonna get really specific, okay? The typical author's royalty was about 7%, give or take, of the sales, okay? For self-publishing, what is it? And my second question is, if you self-publish, what's a good way to get that book out for people to consider buying it?
Yeah. The route that I went through, because I had kind of like fielded my book out to various publishing companies and asked them if they would consider publishing my book. The majority of them came back and they said, no, they said, thank you, but no thank you. When my book regarding my brother came out, I said, well, I'm going to write this and I'm going to self-publish. So I did all the research associated with self-publishing. And there was a company here in the Columbia area that helped me with doing my self-publishing. So what I have done as a part of my business, I put together a package for those folks that come to me through my writing porch to help them self-publish. And I can tell you, with the way that I do it, I had to create my own website as well so that I could get my books out there and didn't have to go through places like Amazon or Barnes and Noble and those other venues where somebody would get a part of my revenues. So all of my revenues come directly to me. Once the books are printed, I have some stored, and then the company that I talked about earlier, Mixam, they now have a portion of their site where you, as a person that's self-published, you can have people to go to the Mixam site and order the books directly. And as an author, you can set the price based on how much it costs you to produce your book. And producing a book, it varies from the amount of pages you use, the amount of illustrations, because if you got illustrations, that means you're gonna have to get someone to create your graphics. A lot of people think that they can go and pull a picture and put it in their book. You can't do that, because if you do that, you cannot do the copyright of your book. So you need to have graphics that you have basically designed, or somebody that you hired to design those graphics and put them in your books. Yeah.
So the actual royalty is going to be much higher than 7%, it sounds like.
Yes, it is. It's much higher. And there are a lot of organizations that will award, will give awards to people who self-publish. So you don't have to think that you're in a vacuum, that your book will never get recognized by the world. Because of these companies that give awards to support independent self-published authors, you can get your book out there. And it's got to be really good, because there's a lot of us self-publishers out there.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Yes. Yes.
Thanks.
Oh, you can go.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got two things for you. First thing was, what you've really done is separated your business from your brand. So that's a good thing. So the opportunity that you have with your brand is that you can offer the speaking engagements, those kind of things, under your branded, your personal brand, versus Williams Professional Publishing Services, right?
Yes.
So that's a good thing. My question for you is then how you spoke on IP and you spoke on like some of that process. How deep are you taking that with self-publishers? Because it can go as deep as, are they validating if they're doing a book, right, and they're writing something, are they carrying errors and omission insurance because somebody could sue them and say that this is slander? Are you taking them through that process all the way up through IP, actually how to copyright? And then the second part of that is, how are you guiding them to sell their books? Are you pushing them towards their own websites? And if so, are you working with them on the collection of that information? Because it would seem to me that you as an independent, the most valuable thing that you have to really collect from your audience is their information, right? So that if you do have a fan, that you've cut down the access point, the time it takes for you to get recognized and to create a new, I'm trying not to say customer, but to create a new customer, a new audience member, right? And so that you can repeat it. And we do the same thing in film. So I know that's a lot. So the first thing I guess is, how deep are you going through with the process? And then what's your actual process for telling your clients on collection of data and building their audience?
Okay. I'm glad you talked about the insurance piece. The insurance piece is something new, and I try to make certain that folks are aware of the errors and omissions insurance. That's a key part, because and also in my working with individuals, if they are coming to me with information that involves someone else, I try to direct them to stay away from that. And I also say to them that what you're doing, you are writing a fiction. This is a fictitious book, so you need to state that up front. And that's a part of what we put on the title page of those books as well, that this does not involve an actual character. So that's defined up front.
So you're leaning in the fictional work. You're not doing like memoirs or personal accounts of things. You're dealing more in the fictional space.
More in the fictional space. And even if someone is coming to me saying they want to write my personal, they're saying, I want to write my personal memoirs. When they're writing it, and having been a social worker, dealing with confidential information, that's key for me, that you can't just say stuff about a person in your book, about this man beat you and this woman stole all my goods and all of this. You can't, I direct them away from statements like that, so that they're not getting themselves into any trouble. Now, the one thing I do say to them, if this individual is deceased, you can say whatever, or they don't have any living family members that will come after you. So I always make certain that they understand that, and that's been a good part about me being in this area because of my background in social work, that I'm able to help those people to write stuff that doesn't identify an individual.
Wait.
Okay.
Before you move on,
Okay.
How are you in that process? How are you collecting that information? Because building that audience is going to be key for you guys. And I'm just curious, how are you doing it personally for your business, and then how are you translating that for your clients?
Yes. What I do, I have writing workshops with them, in one-on-one writing sessions. And I formulate questions that I need for them to have answered when they come to me for the first visit, the second visit, or whatever, how many ever visits it goes based on what they're willing to pay. And those questions are outlined to make certain we're getting all the information. And that's another part of it, is making certain you have an outline for whatever book you're writing, there needs to be an outline so everybody knows up front what they're going to write about. And we then we sit down together and we approve this list of things that they're wanting to include in their book.
All right, we'll catch up. We have 1, 2, and 3.
Well, I have 2 points. I wanted to compliment you. I think you did really, really well, and it says a lot about your character for you to take, criticism and go back. It says that you're like resilient. That speaks a lot. So I did enjoy that story. And also, it kind of reminded me of myself of that a jack of all trades and like doing everything and you gotta get back to the root of all of that. So that did like inspire me to kind of like sit back and like, okay, let me get back to the root.
The heart.
Yeah, the heart. Let me
Yes.
get back there. And also, do you, well, I'm gonna write a story one day about my life, but not right now. I'm not in that era right now. But do you do any other writing service or just fictional? When I say writing service, I mean like, do you help people with like, I guess business documents, like to write out their plans or?
My services are writing, and
Okay.
that is a part of the story chair. If that is what you have a desire to do, then under my section called the story chair, we can walk through that journey.
Okay.
with you. For a
Okay.
fee.
Okay.
For a fee.
For a fee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
That's all.
I actually would like, of course, I have your book about the brother. I think
Yes.
it's very good and touching. But I like how you did what you were saying, going back and relook at everything. I think that's some of the hardest things. Us taking, I don't want to say criticism, but taking feedback
Mm-hmm.
and turning it into something good. So I'm fine with that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I tell you, it was helpful being before this level of professional individuals and getting the feedback from them. Because I said, if you as professionals have those types of questions, then other folks have them as well.
You should make that a story.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
think that'd be a really good story. And whether you make it a child story or adult story, I think it's good for just people to kind of come back down to earth, and just realize like it's okay. Not everybody's like against you; they're just helping. So
Mm-hmm.
And we all have those problems too.
yeah,
So true.
because you have it like your way, what you like.
Yeah.
It's not what people like. So
That's why we can kind of strategically, because we have those problems or have had those problems.
yeah.
And we'll sometimes face those problems even going forward.
Yes, so true. And I tell you, that same day I stewed over the information that I received at 1 Million Cup. And I said, yeah, I thought I was doing well. And I started looking at things, and wow, when I actually sat down, and that fall really made me sit down
Yes.
and really focus. It gave me something to do during that period of time. Instead of concentrating on the pain, I was concentrating on my business. And yeah. And I tell you what, I love my new logo. But it was through the help of this group that made me refocus everything. So 1 Million Cup is just a great organization, y'all. And I'm telling folks about this everywhere I go. Because if I had not come in October, I would still be doing the same thing. But now my company has taken a different direction.
One back here for you guys.
Yes.
That's you, love.
You yeah. All right.
I love we women have always said we were jack of all trades and master of none. You know, we were born that way. We were born so we are masters of all trades and jackasses for not getting paid for it.
Yes.
And that's what your angst was. I saw you that day.
Yes.
And so I'm looking at this and I'm saying, oh wow. Now what a difference to go from $65 to $6,500. That's ballsy. But you know what, girlfriend? You don't have heels on anymore, but you're walking 6 inches taller. So tell me, what kind of confidence are you showing up on appointments with now that you've got this?
You're right. My confidence level is quite high because, when I bring them this, they know I'm not playing. They know that I'm not saying, okay, well, if this all you have, then I can work with that. They know now that they're going to get some serious professional work out of what they do. And since that time, I had one person, she had a book with another company that went out of business, and she needed more books. So I was able to do a self-publishing book for her and rebranded it under my company. So that was a good feeling, especially as I was recuperating from my fall, to get that done. And I tell you what, Mixam, working with them, I was on the phone with them. Although you submit the information online to them, there's somebody that you can talk to as well. So I talked with them, and I told them, I said, now I need to make certain that this looks good. And they said, well, you've been doing work with us for a long time. We're going to make certain it looks good. And they did. I got in an order from them on yesterday for another book that I published for this group. And I tell you, it's beautiful. I didn't bring it with me. They do some excellent work.
Yeah, what Bill said. I had kind of shifted and changed some things with my mindset just for my sister. She's kind of like a farmer now. You know, she told me, she said, master what you're good at. Don't just do it. Yeah. And she has, just that saying has changed the way I even do business and things like that. But master what you're doing. Just like I said, not so much jack of all these trades, just master. Master. What makes a difference. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to encourage anybody, don't fall, because a fall sets you way, way back.
Now that is so true. And it was so funny. Yesterday, we're celebrating Mental Health Awareness Month. That's what this is about. And this person gave me this card with 12 things to always remember. It said, the past cannot be changed. That's number one. Number two, opinions don't define your reality. Number three, everyone's journey is different.
Yes.
That's me. Things always get better with time. Judgments are a confession of character. Overthinking will lead to sadness. Happiness is found within. Positive thoughts create positive things. Smiles are contagious. Kindness is free. You only fall if you fail, if you quit. If you quit. And what goes around comes around. So with my company, I have not failed because I have not quit. Thank y'all. One more question? Okay.
Did they copyright?
I know. No, she did. A teacher did this, and I said, oh, this is so good. Yeah. 12 things to always remember.
Another question, though. My question is, are you implementing AI in the business?
Oh, I tell you what, I love AI. I don't have any issue with AI, because when I get stuck with saying, well, what outline do I need to come up with? And I give them, I use Microsoft. I'm sorry. A lot of people use ChatGPT, but I use Copilot. And I will put my outline in there, and I say, how can I better define this? And it'll come back with something. I say, oh man, this is great. So I use AI, especially if I get into an issue, I need to summarize this, because I get wordy. And I get wordy with my layout on what I do and all of that. I can go to Copilot and Microsoft Copilot, and it will say to me, do it, these 3 sentences. So I don't have any issue with AI. It's a friend. And anybody can make it a friend. But it has to get used to your writing. And you also have to remember, it's only going to give you what you ask for. So you have to keep coming back with questions to better define what you need. And then another thing to remember, you can't take that information that AI gives you and think you can copyright it. You can't. There are a lot of tools out there today, so you can't copyright something that you've gotten off of any of the AI tools. You're gonna get caught.
That was my next question. Do you think AI is like competition? Because you know a lot of businesses are running into AI becoming their competitor. Do you think? Well, I mean, you can't copyright it, so but people can still get ideas. So.
Yes, and that's what I would say. Use AI to get ideas to help better define what it is that you're doing.
We're gonna do our final question, Diann. I don't know if you know what it is, but I'm gonna have Al
Okay.
give it to you anyway.
It seems like 1 million cups has done a lot for you already. But what can we still do for you right now in your new phase of business?
All right, let's talk right. Welcome back to our world.
Yes, sir.
He processed the beer and the rest of us just screwed.
I'm glad you asked that question because the first presentation I did, I had information in there that was saying some of the things I would like to get from the group. And one of the major things I would like to get to the group from the groups is how can I do my business better than what I have presented already? How can I do it better? What tools would you recommend that I utilize in my business? I had one person to send me a request to come and clean my house. But she said, I think your business is doing well. You probably need somebody to clean your house. Because you probably don't have time to do the house cleaning. And I said, Lord, you know, she ain't never lied. I need this service. But yeah. So what tools would the group recommend that I utilize to make my business better, and what other services?
More personal, I would say maybe book signing, get more into the public eye. So it'd be, you know, I don't know, library or, I don't know, just more of a public setting where people can see you and your writing and understand what you're writing and what you're about.
Okay. To kind of publish that information?
No, for you to be more seen as an author. Yeah, I don't know. Do you do tours around, or how do you publish other than the website or whatever? I'm just saying, be more present in the public eye.
Okay.
That will help you because okay, when they see you, so let me see what she's doing. I have a friend that likes what she does. Just get people more attuned to what you're doing.
And I'm glad you stated that, because most of the events I'm invited to is to sell my books. But I personally would like to get out there and present more information about my company, like you said. So that's what I really need. I need opportunities to present information about my company to others.
I got one for you.
Yes.
Anybody in the room, actually. Tomorrow at my office on Gervais Street is Networking on Gervais. And it's a networking meetup from 9 until 10 a.m. And all business owners are welcome to come and attend and meet other Columbia business owners. It's a great way to network. So there's one for you, Diann. I'd love to have you in the room talking about your business.
Thank you.
If you're able. It's on Eventbrite if anybody wants to find it. Networking on Gervais.
I never have a Thursday off. I'm so looking forward to it. But also, and anybody who wants to, Izzy's Ice Cream in Chapin is having a special event. You bring your own container, and it's like that's what they do. Like whatever container comes, like people are bringing their kids' Tonka trucks, and so cute. Ice cream is like $5 for 2 scoops, $6 for 3. I don't know, but I'm going up there. I'm going to find some kind of container, and I'm going to take anybody who wants to go on a field trip for the day tomorrow. I'll mention it at your event tomorrow, because wouldn't that be cool, going up and meeting with ladies? You gotta pay by the scoop, so it's not a free for all.
Okay, not a free for all. So, but can I come go and talk about my business?
No.
No, okay, it's just to come and get some ice
For
cream.
fun and eat ice cream and hang out with girls. I mean,
Okay,
you know,
okay.
you can do business anywhere you want if the
Okay.
opportunity arises.
Okay. Come and talk to business, Mike. Okay. Networking on your face.
Can I do my
I was
business
gonna
there?
mention too, sometimes you can get connected with the different colleges and schools that offer kind of writing. You just have to know who to connect with, that's the biggest thing. I did an event last night at Part of Reflections, they invited us in, and they invited all these different heads from USC. And so we did a spread for the Part of Reflections that do events and stuff like that. So our niche is to get out to part event planners and, you know, people that supply stuff. So just think about your field, how you can get out and partner with that.
Okay.
And also June the 16th, we have our podcast. I would love for you guys to consider being a guest, to tell your story
Okay.
around food, and ancestry dishes. Dr. Thebs is on there. I made homemade biscuits, so, and
Oh,
if not, you can come in the audience and be it's a live taping.
June 16th.
June the
Homemade
16th.
biscuits.
How-
Chocolate, man.
Chef, how do we listen to your podcast?
We're on YouTube at the Table with Chef Judy.
Okay.
And that's June the 3rd Saturday, June, what is that?
I think it's the 16th.
The 16th, June 16th. So you can come in and be in our live audience, or you can be a guest, but we'd love to have you.
Okay, thank you.
More swag, Miss Diann.
More swag.
More swag.
All right.
He's that goes bad. You got
Okay, got another cup. I'll let my husband use this.
There you go.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I have.
Yeah,
I've got one more thing for you.
yes.
I would suggest that you, if you haven't already, if you're selling your books mainly on your website, you need some kind of capture,
Yeah.
which allows you to create a database of everybody who's come to your website. You'll get their email, you'll get their contact information. That way you can email them about upcoming events, where you're going to be, new books, new clients, all those things. And then as part of your business, that could be also something that you can provide access to your clients. I have a database of over 5,000 people that I can access for the publishing of your books at this level for a fee.
Okay.
That's a good t-shirt.
Thank you,
For a
thank you,
fee.
for a fee.
That's all I got.
Thank you. Thank y'all again. This has been so helpful.
Thank you.
So my release.
Yes, sir. I'll see you in another. I'll be here next week. Okay.
I plan to get back on.
So it's something mold
I missed the last two running around, but it's all
But yeah, I
good.
do like.
I enjoyed talking to you.
Same here, man.
Yeah.
We gonna wait on you.
Yeah,
If I make it still.
I just got it. Yeah.
This part right here.
I'm just trying to like get work out.